Hi, this is Perry Marshall. And one time I got a very excited phone call from my marketing manager, Jack Bourne. He goes, Perry, I was out for a run and this idea just came to me and it was very powerful. And he started to describe to me and he says, Perry, he says, all marketers are supposed to know that there's two things that matter in marketing, traffic and conversion. And I said, sure. Yeah, that's true. And he goes, well, actually, that's not complete. He goes, there's three things, and actually there's four. And he goes, let me show you. And he says, he draws this triangle, and he says, there's traffic, and there's conversion, but there's another piece of the puzzle that you really need, and that is economics. Okay? So traffic is people walking into your store. It's people searching on a search engine. It's people on Facebook or people wherever your business gets traffic, however that works, right? Conversion is what you say to them to get them to buy. Economics is how much money that you make from the transaction. And Jack says, this is absolutely important. In fact, it's probably more important than the other two because any good marketer knows you can't fix bad economics with good traffic. If your economics says that you're taping dollar bills to every unit that goes out, then better conversion and more traffic will only get you bankrupt faster. Okay? Now, Jack said, well, there's a fourth thing in this, and it looks like this. He goes, the fourth thing is 80-20. Jack says 80-20 is absolutely at the center of everything that you do in marketing because it's the fundamental law of cause and effect. The 80-20 law of cause and effect says that causes and effects are always disproportional, and it's always true that 20% of the causes produce 80% of the effects, and 80% of the causes only produce 20% of the effects. And the smart entrepreneurs figure out what the top 20% is, and they focus on that. And then they focus on it again and again and again because there's an 80-20 inside every 80-20. Well, Jack said, well, this is very interesting because he says, if you lay out traffic, conversion, and economics like this, then you actually have a flow, and the flow works like this. You get traffic to your website or in your store, okay? And then you convert the traffic, and then when the traffic converts, you get money from them because economics is two things. Economics is the money you get from the customer. It's also the value you supply to the customer because it's an exchange of value, right? They give you their dollars or euros or pounds or yen, and you give them their product, right? He goes, then you reinvest your money back into traffic, you buy more traffic, and if you've built this properly, then as this thing turns, you will make more and more money. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, that's nice, that's sort of interesting. He said, now Perry, this is when he really had me hooked. This is when he had me convinced that this is a great idea. Now, it really sold me on the tactical triangle was when Jack said the tactical triangle is fractal. And a fractal is when there's a pattern inside a pattern inside a pattern inside a pattern. So for 80-20 is true whether you're looking at 7 billion people in the whole world. It's also true if you're only looking at the top 10 people in the Forbes 400 list. So it's the same pattern at every scale, which is incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. And so Jack said, look, he said, let's say this is my Google ad, this is my website, and this is my shopping cart, traffic, conversion, economics. He says, if I just look at the Google ad, inside the Google ad, I have a little T for traffic, I have a little C, and I have a little E, and I have an 80-20 in the middle. He goes, let me explain. He says, the traffic of a Google ad is impressions, how many people saw the ad. He says the conversions on a Google ad is how many people clicked on the ad. So impressions, clicks. He says the economics is the bid price. And is there an 80-20 inside the Google ad? Yes. There's an 80-20 right in here because every column in your Google AdWords reporting is an 80-20 relationship. How many impressions did every keyword get? How many clicks? How many conversions? What was the click-through rate? Most of the stuff inside your Google account is all 80-20. So there's 80-20s everywhere. And he said, and then the same's true. There's the traffic that came to your website. He goes, there's the people that actually, went further. Maybe they clicked on some other pages. Okay. And there's even just the value of the people passing through before they even get to the shopping cart. He goes, this is going on at every level. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And so what this means is that on a macro scale or on a micro scale, when you wake up in the morning, there are only 4 things that you could decide to do when you're wearing your marketing hat. You could either get more traffic, okay, or you could wake up in the morning and say, I've got enough traffic, I need to convert the traffic better. So you work on what you say to the traffic, okay, or you need to work on your economics. Right? You need to work on your pricing and your profit margins, all this kind of stuff, or you need to work on your 80-20s. Okay, so, and what does that mean? That means, well, there's all these things that are disproportional cause and effect where tiny hinges swing big doors, so where are the hinges? And what are the things that I need to get rid of? Well, in the next video, I'm going to take this even further, and I'm going to show you something really powerful, really profound, and it will change the way you look at your entire business.